What was a good memory you had when you were in school? My 3rd grade class had a reading loft. It was a pretty good sized fort, probably taking up 1/3 of the classroom, covered in carpet, and had lots of cool places to hang out if you wanted to read. The teacher incentivized us to finish work early so we could grab a book and head to the reading loft so we didn't have to hang out at our desks being bored. I got banned from reading in class because I'd finish my work early and pull out a book. The teachers would always say I wouldn't pay attention. So I started writing and doodling. Then the teachers started confiscating my pencil and paper, saying I wouldn't pay attention. So I'd read ahead in the textbook instead. Then the teachers started holding my textbooks when I didn't immediately need them, saying I wouldn't pay attention. So when I'd finish my class walk I'd just dissociate and spend the rest of the hour staring at empty space. It was not particularly healthy, and it definitely has had a permanent effect on me. Geez, your teachers sound terrible. I don't get why they cared so much about what you were doing if you already finished your work. They sound really toxic and shitty. I got bullied a lot in middle school. One day in math I'd just been overwhelmed and couldn't take any more. So I called my dad and begged him to pick me up. He told me it'd be alright and just ignore it. 20 minutes later I got called to the office for checkout and he took me to get my favorite food and spent the afternoon in the park with me. R.I.P. old man. That was one of the best days of my entire life. He sounds really cool. Sorry man. The coolest and thank you. In 3rd grade, it was some reading appreciation week, and we decided as a class to visit a cemetery. Granted it's a pretty famous cemetery with a couple of really important people buried there, and we had a scavenger hunt to find them, along with like the oldest grave we could find, the biggest, and we had to make a rubbing of one of our choosing. As a strange child, it was the best field trip I had ever been on. We did this in Girl Scouts. What a weird activity. Okay everyone, it's time for your grave rubbing merit badge. Oh shit, you guys said grave rubbing. I say, removing my ski mask, shovel hidden behind my back. When I was in 2nd grade, I got bullied because my whole family was deaf. One kid kept picking on me every day. Well, one day he came up to me and started screaming, saying, "Can your mom hear me?" And this tall girl stepped in and punched him in the face. She got suspended, but no one ever made fun of me again. We became best friends after that. I'm glad you made a friend, but I'm really sorry that yet again you and the one person with the guts to do something about the situation had to suffer instead of the assholes who think bullying is fun. They never stop until they are afraid of the consequences, and schools never seem to grasp this. What should the school do? Genuine question. It's not like teachers can scream, yell, or hit. Plus, in he said, she said situations, bullies always complain to teachers more. I was always a shy introvert, and when I went off to high school I made it a goal to do one thing during my 4 years there that would force me out of my comfort zone. I ended up trying out for the cheerleading team. I was definitely not the type to get up in front of a crowd and cheer. The tryouts involved performing a personally choreographed dance, which was no issue as I had some dance background. They allowed those who wanted to try out to perform their dances in groups. But since I had no friends I did it alone. I was so damn nervous, but I did it, and I made the team. The rest of my high school experience pretty much sucked, but that one thing made me really proud of myself. As a shy introvert myself, I'm proud of you, too. Trying to get yourself out of your comfort zone is an incredibly hard thing to do. It's called a comfort zone for a reason. And the fact that you made that decision for yourself and succeeded is just amazing. Praying I can gently push my shy introvert boy out of his comfort zone soon. Stories like yours always help me so much. Don't force him to do things out of his comfort zone. I'm 17 and only recently started to do things I'm not comfortable with. When I was a kid my parents would force me to go play with other kids, which just made me more introverted. Whenever he's ready to start doing things out of his comfort zone he will. It just takes time. A math teacher paused a class because he got a message from his brother. His brother met a girl at a party and had a crush on her. but he found a week later that she was lesbian and got a heartbreak. He went outside to call his brother and came back and told us the story. That's a pretty cool teacher, I think. To explain that his brother's feelings were as important as class. IDK, that can be a lot to digest when you're in first grade. Every Scholastic book fair in elementary school, my uncle took my first book I bought at Scholastic book fair and didn't return it. I have still not forgiven him. What book was it? Every morning my teacher will ask us questions about history. If we get it right he would give us a Snicker bar. But this the funny part. He would throw the Snickers bar at us real hard. So if get the question right you would had to dodge the fast moving Snickers. My history teacher did this with Jolly Ranchers. Lol, he called it Onces for Ranchers. My teacher did this with Jolly Ranchers too. It was fun to get those things in class. Watching my mother rip the principal a new one because a typing teacher failed me for poor posture despite my having 100% on every assignment plus bonus marks. Mom ranked up that day. What kind of teacher fails you for poor posture? I mean, my typing teacher told us how sitting up straight helped a lot, but geez, she never went this far. In high school we had a group project and this class was 90% girls, so the other 10% guys, including me, were in a group. This teacher used to kinda gang up on us with the girls, and one day she was preoccupied and we were talking about how we didn't want to be there and we should just jump out the window. This one guy scopes out the window, sticks his feet out first, give us a wink, and just jumps out. Dropped probably 7 to 10 feet onto the grass and just waltzes back into class like he just came from the bathroom or something. Teacher didn't even notice. Haha, my senior year we had a math class that the teacher also happened to be a football and track coach. It was an elective with a whopping 11 kids in class. 6 of us played football and track. We had a great relationship with the coach. One kid ordered a pizza to the parking lot, climbed out the window, got the pizza, and crawled back in all while coach went to make copies. He comes back and literally says, "Dan, how the duck did you get a pizza in?" Never mind, don't tell me. We told him at practice and he couldn't help but just laugh. My friend was a super senior, failed a required class, and had to pass government to graduate. He was borderline failing again, and then one day after some intense rain a huge puddle formed outside. He kept loudly declaring it Lake Pickett, the teacher's name, and finally after multiple disruptions the teacher said, "If you swim across Lake Pickett, it'll let you pass this class." The dare was accepted, and with the entire school watching he went outside, dove into the puddle, and swam/crawled approximate 50 meters to finally get his diploma. I received my crush's love letter. Received or intercepted? It is a handwritten letter. One of my math teachers in high school was a bit on the crazy side in a very good way. He'd scoot around the room on his desk chair, rolling over backpacks and the like. He'd punctuate talks with weird sayings like but, he said, which is tub spelled backwards. He generally made the class time entertaining for everyone. One day, he decided to show us the derivation of a mathematical formula. Nowadays, showing this particular formulation to a bunch of high school students would likely get him kicked out. I don't remember the exact derivation, but the end result was the integral of e to the x power equals some function of u to the nth power. Written out, it looks like this: sc caret x equals f u caret n. Yes, he went through a whole mathematical derivation just to tell a group of high school students x equals fun. Apostrophe. My math teacher gives us shitty puns and he actually enjoys talking to students about stupid shit. Sin. Feld. I was a terrible student and a huge baseball fan growing up. In 6th grade I had an English teacher who knew I wasn't dumb, just hard to motivate. She privately offered me an extra credit assignment. All I had to do was write a 2-page essay on any topic I liked at all explaining why I liked it so much. I straight up turned down her offer, being content with my C grade. So she flipped it around on me and publicly told another guy in my class that, since he was the biggest Red Sox fan in the class, he should write a 2-page essay about the Red Sox and present it to the class. I practically jumped out of my seat and said I was a way bigger Red Sox fan than Mike, and I should be the one writing that essay. She let us both write one. She was a really good teacher. Well, Mike is a way better compliment giver than you. Backslash 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 crosses fingers backslash backslash please work. Please ducking work backslash backslash. Oh yeah. Well, I thought that meme you posted last week was funny and deserved more upvotes. Watching my stepdad call the principal of my school in 4th grade out on his bullshit right in front of me because it was the first time I had a father figure in my life who cared enough about me to stand up for me. What did he call him out on, if you don't mind me asking? Principal. Slowly hiding all of the textbooks in the ceiling in my carpentry class over the course of the semester till they were all gone. Some people just want to watch the world burn. It's funny to watch. Skipping out on a Monday to drive to the city 5 hours away to see Iron Maiden in concert, December 1984. Awesome. Approaching my crush and saying hi only to be branded as a weirdo. Shit makes me laugh still. I was approached by my crush. She said, "Why the duck are you following us?" I stopped following her after that. Holla. Second semester junior year. Springtime just setting in, a new group of guys became a part of our family. We were busy every day hanging out and partying at the house, and the girls we were talking to all loved us. Good times. In the spring, a young man's fancy turns to thoughts of necromancy. The one time in 4th grade when I managed to beat up the big bully in my classroom. Don't beat yourself up, man. Hey, just because I hate myself doesn't mean I'm a bully. Nickelodeon took over my school when I was in the 2nd grade. We were the first school to win, and it was because a girl at my school, who was a few grades older, entered the contest. All the Nickelodeon celebrities were there. Mr. Wizard did cool science experiments. Bath did gross stuff with food. Mark Sommers had a super sloppy double dare obstacle course we could go through. Teachers got slimmed, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles put on a concert. It was literally a dream come true. And then at the end we all got free backpacks filled with Nickelodeon swag. I still think about that day. Holy Christ. I feel the joy for you. Now I feel jealousy. Open bracket. Going to an inter-school sports competition. Our school would participate every year and we would come last without fail. I took part for 8 years, during which we never won anything. Just got a participation certificate. While going to the competition we would play games on the bus, listen to songs, eat at fast food joints. Looking back, I don't remember the many losses that our team endured, but the time that we spent together is still crystal clear. It was never about the destination. It is all about the sweet journey. Journey before destination. Life before death. Going home. Same bro. I'm ready to go home now from work. I got in trouble for calling my English teacher out on an incorrect Harry Potter fact she was spouting one day. Granted, I was a little shit and was also refusing to do the work she assigned, but I was done with her BS. Principal decided to give me detention as punishment. Thing is, detention involved an hour or so of homework/reading time before a period where we were to help the host teacher with whatever tasks they needed. I was a book nerd, and the host teachers were both science teachers who I got along with swimmingly. Plus, they wanted help with cleaning the fish tank. Needless to say, those days of detention were awesome. I just remember the principal's face when he asked me how detention was going. Apparently, being excited to go back was not what he expected. But what was the Harry Potter fact? Something about Draco Malfoy and broomsticks. It's been a while, so I can't remember exactly what it was or why she was even talking about it. I want to say that it was about when exactly Malfoy joined the Quidditch team. Like, she claimed that he did so in the first book instead of the second. Something like that. High school me thought that an English teacher claiming something so obviously wrong as factual was inexcusable. Apparently. Haha. Whenever we needed to use our laptops for class, the gang would gather in the back of the class and play COD 4. Damn, school was so easy back then. That reminds me of my school just playing Halo in the free time we had for a test. Watching a freshman attempting to deep throat 7 cheese sticks at once. The record for most milk cartons drank before throwing up was 26 by the time I graduated. They started suspending anyone who tried to break the record because they were cleaning up milk puke so often. Do you ever attempt to break the sacred achievement? Oh boy, it was a few months before Corona. Middle of the winter. It was so cold that I guess the morning dew froze, and so the floor was kind of frosted over. I'm late to school riding my bike as fast as I could. I arrived but my class was kinds far, so I run for it determined to make it on time. I go up the stairs of the 800 building which is outside of the building and run to my class. I'm running. Then I notice him about to run right past the class, who were all outside. I make an abrupt stop, but the frosted floor has other plans. I slide about a good 6 feet while still standing. Everybody's watching me in awe. I didn't fall down. It was epic. Edit. BTW, I made it on time. The nice people. Kids can be assholes. But in high school, there were a few nice guys that I could just sit and chat with. No judgments. Edit. Thanks for award. I tried locating one guy in particular who was super nice to me a few years ago, but to no avail. I always wondered where he wound up. So, Vincent, the Brazilian guy who loved soccer, let me know. When I started getting into trouble in year 8, first year of high school, I was told to go see the vice principal. I believe this is after I called the teacher a bitch or cunt. IDK. I was in a rebellious stage because I was being picked on for being nerdy and fat. So I stopped caring about classes and teachers. When I got into the office, while I was waiting, another teacher walked in and asked the VP, "Do you know how smug this is?" pointing to a mug with a tiny cartoon on the side. Me with my head down barely looking at it as I waited to get told off. Said it might have been the art teachers because she likes Gary Larson, the artist of the cartoon. The vice principal in bewilderment said, "Wow, how very observant of you." It wasn't much. It was just being acknowledged in a place that I felt was tormenting me every day while wasting my capabilities. That is a great VP. A memory that has always stayed with me is because of my A-level English literature teacher. I couldn't meet a deadline because I was going on a girl guiding camp, so I wanted to be truthful with him. I also wore a lot of black and leather, so I was the 6th form goth. I went up to his desk, explained, and I'll never forget his reaction. "You really are an enigma. Zebra polka dot rainbow." 3 months later he was found dead from a brain aneurysm during the school holidays. I'll never forget you, Mr. Bushel. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.